Today I'm at Airview Equestrian Centre, home of Team Ahern, a week before the Horse of the Year show, and they've very kindly agreed to show us some top tips for getting their horses prepared for the Horse of the Year show. So this is the team. We've got Paddy, Jane, Kirsty and Alex. So they make up Team Ahern along with Arabella and Lily, who are unfortunately at school at the moment.
This is another lead rein pony, Will, who is 𝗃𝗄𝗃𝗃𝗵𝗋, and he is competing in the show pony lead rein class. As you can see here, he's not very happy to meet people over the stable door, but he loves his time in the ring.
And I can see he's already got a Horse of the Year show plaque on the stable door, so he's already a winner.
He was on his first visit. He was a winner with Lily, and he's going back this year with Arabella, my daughter, who's Lily's cousin.
And he actually made Lily the youngest person to ever win Horse of the Year show. And how old was she?
She was 3, and at the time he was just a 5-year-old, so they were a really young combination. This is Carter, show name 𝗘𝘅𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗲, and he is going to Horse of the Year show. He's a first timer. This was his first season in the show ring, so he's going on the lead rein with my daughter Arabella, and he's actually son of 𝗘𝘅𝗰𝗹𝘂𝘀𝗶, the pony that we won the 𝗕𝗲𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗱 ridden with last year.
And what class will he be doing?
He's doing the 𝗕𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗱 lead rein. This is George. His show name is 𝗵𝗔𝗔 Royalist, and he is going, he's going for a walk. He's going to Horse of the Year show in the 12-2 show ponies and the partbreds. This is 𝗘𝗅𝗰𝗵𝗂𝘀𝗶, and he has qualified in the first ridden class, which he won last year, and the Open Exmoors and Shetlands.
And again, he's already got his plaque on the door.
He does.
He is the cutest pony in the world, and I think he already has a massive following, doesn't he? He's got his own fan club. So yeah, there'll be lots of people willing him to win this year, I'm sure. And who's this hiding underneath their sheepy hood?
This is 𝗃𝗃 under the hood. Her show name is 𝗕𝗲𝗵𝗶𝗃𝗱, Bird of Paradise, and she's competing with Sammy in the 13-2 show pony class.
And what's the plaque? What's on her door?
This is the La Liga award, which is for the most consistent pony in the qualifiers through the season.
And who's this one?
This is Harry, and he is also doing the Hunt Pony lead rein class with his little jockey Bells, it's her first visit to Hoys.
Who's this gorgeous one?
This is Caprice. She's a 13-2 show pony, and she is being ridden by Lily. This is Birdie, and she is going just as a partbred this year. She's always done the 14-2 class, but her rider Mia's out of the class.
So where's this plaque from?
That's from the Royal International, and she's been the Supreme Pony at the Royal International in 2021 and 2022.
Wow, that's amazing. So she's definitely one to beat.
She's one to beat, but she's never won the Horse of the Year show, so we're going back for another go.
So tell us about your first steps in preparing them for the Horse of the Year show. Obviously, you've already qualified and done all that, the hard part.
Yep. So probably at 3 to 4 weeks out from the show, we would start to be thinking about whether we're going to clip or not clip. And the main dilemma for everyone going to Horse of the Year show is usually the coats, because we're used to showing ponies in the middle of the summer when the coats are naturally good. So about 3 weeks out is when I'd start to decide, just by daily checking how much coat they've got on. Luckily, having lots of past experience, I know when I roughly would clip my chestnuts and my bays, and it's usually the chestnuts that go soonest. And this is Boris. He was clipped 2 days ago, so he's been clipped 10 days before the show, with cover coat blades. And now that in the run-up to his actual show day, daily his coat will be getting checked. We check the weather, we're checking if it's how much he's growing back and whether he's too warm or too cold. We don't want to over rug him, but equally if his coat starts to look how we want it to look on the day, we'd put more rugs on to try and slow that process down. Currently he's exactly where we would want him, luckily.
And he looks really shiny. I'll give you a close-up of him. So yeah, his coat's looking amazing.
what he needs now is just a little bit more growth so we can get the markings on him. With the hunter ponies, you can see I've left his legs on. The show ponies, their legs, if we clip them, they come off. But as hunter ponies traditionally, if you were hunting them, you would leave the legs on. So I like to stick with the tradition and leave the hunter ponies' legs on. Whereas the show ponies, we want to create the illusion that they've got a perfect summer coat and they haven't been clipped. We have everything here ready to pack for a week at Horse of the Year show, all our extras to go onto the lorry, including our feed, which mainly we're feeding the small native ponies on the Essential Balancer and some of the lead reins also. Moving up through the heights on the show ponies, they are on the Shape Up. At this time of year, we know our ponies are looking well, and we just need to make sure that they're getting all the right vitamins and minerals to get that good shine. And then Birdie the 14-2 is on the Condition Improver cubes, which just gives her that little bit more top line and keeps that great Saracen shine. They all go out most days. Some of them go out overnight. We really, really believe in turnout and regular turnout as one of the main keys to success with them. It just keeps them happy and sweet, and they just get treated like every other pony.
So with a native pony, how do you go about getting him ready? Obviously he's got a lot of mane, a lot of tail and a lot of white bits on him. Can you give us any tips on getting him clean and how to get him ready?
To be honest, the best thing that we find with these is to just have them really clean. It's more about elbow grease and less product. For him, because the judges want them in a natural state. If we start to paste the legs, that can attract the dust, and then his chestnut tail sometimes sticks to the white legs and he ends up with white in his tail. So we do use the white powder when need be in emergencies, but the best thing really is we'll start bathing him now sort of every other day up to the show. So he's really clean right from the roots. So then when we're down at Horse of the Year show and there's no hot water available, it's easy to just spot clean him and not need to get right down to the roots once we get there, hopefully. We use the MP products, blue shampoo, and make sure we do a really good rinse. This is Boris and Arabella with Alex leading, and they're just having a practice together before next week when they'll compete in the show hunter pony lead rein class.
So in the run up to Hoys, we try and replicate the arena at Hoys, and we put in some obstacles in the middle, which is a little bit like the pillar that's in the middle of the ring at Hoys, just to get the horses used to riding around an obstacle and the jockeys used to riding different lines. And then we also have the picket fencing over the other side, which is like it is at Horse of the Year show too. So they do the confirmation in the far side and the showings the near side, just so the horses and the jockeys get used to riding up the quarter line and having to deal with the fence and the obstruction in the middle of the ring.
So once the coat is shined and prepared, this is personal preference to whether you want to highlight their face. We do use some black on their eyes and muzzles, finished off with some highlighter. This is really kind on the skin, and also you can get however dark you can get it as dark as you like. So just to begin with, I just dab a little bit on my sponge. Yeah. Good girl. And we just wipe it over and around her eyes, and you can just build this up to how dark you want it to be. We just like to just run it round the eye like so, and then good girl, also around the muzzle, and it just highlights her natural colours really.
Makes it look really pretty.
And this has a shine with it as well, so you don't actually need to top that up with any oil or any highlighter. It's glossy and really just highlights her natural beauty. Next, I just run my dark sponge down over her black points, which just, again, highlights and covers any marks if you've got any little white hairs, just so everything looks super sharp and on point.
What's the difference between these gorgeous velvet brow bands with the fancy on them and the plainer brow bands?
So the fancy show brow bands, they are for the show ponies, and anything that's plain would be on a hunter pony or a native type, a mountain and moorland. They all have new brow bands ordered for Horse of the Year show because these have been used for the season, so they are boxed up and ready to be put on the bridles as they're cleaned before we go next week.
So this is Lily. Lily, you were the first or the youngest rider to ever win the Horse of the Year show when you was 3 years old. So how old are you now?
I'm 11.
11. And who's this pony that we're sat on now?
This is ceph.
And what classes is 𝗘𝗄𝗄 doing?
The 13 two-show ponies.
Super. And how many other ponies have you got to ride?
5.
5 others. So who are you most looking forward to riding at the Horse of the Year show? Are you not allowed to have a favourite?
I'm not allowed.
Oh. Well, we'd like to, everybody at Saracen Horse Feeds would like to wish the whole Team Ahern all the best of luck, and we've all got our fingers crossed and we will be all cheering you on.